Last Night in Soho is a 2021 British psychological horror film directed by Edgar Wright and co-written by Wright and Krysty Wilson-Cairns. 7. It stars Thomasin McKenzie, Anya Taylor-Joy, Matt Smith, Rita Tushingham, Michael Ajayo, Terence Stamp and Diana Rigg. It marks the final film appearances of Rigg and Margaret Nolan, who both died in 2020. The film is dedicated to the memories of Rigg and Nolan. It premiered at the 78th Venice International Film Festival on September 4, 2021, had its UK premiere on October 9, 2021 at the BFI London Film Festival, and was theatrically released in the UK and the US on October 29, 2021 by Universal Pictures and Focus Features, respectively. 8. It received generally positive reviews from critics, who praised its production design, cinematography, costume design, direction and performances, while its writing received some criticism. Despite this, the film performed poorly at the box office, grossing $23 million worldwide on a budget of $43 million. The COVID-19 pandemic was still suppressing total box office revenues, with theaters in the United States and Canada bringing in 60% less box office revenue in 2021 than in pre-pandemic 2019. 9. The film was nominated for 2 BAFTA Film Awards, including Outstanding British Film and Best Sound. Thomasin McKenzie as Eloise Ellie Turner, a fashion college student. Anya Taylor-Joy as Alexandra Sandy Collins, an aspiring singer in 1960s London. Diana Rigg as Ms. Collins/older Sandy, Eloise's landlady. Matt Smith as Jack. Michael Ajayo as John. Terence Stamp as silver-haired gentleman. Synnøve Carlson as Jocasta. Pauline McLynn as Carol. Rita Tushingham as Peggy, Ellie's maternal grandmother. Sam Claflin as Lindsay, a young vice squad officer, credited as punter number 5. In addition, Beth Singh portrays English 60s hit singer Cilla Black. Eloise Ellie Turner loves the music and fashion of the swinging 60s and dreams of becoming a fashion designer. Her mother, also a fashion designer, killed herself in her childhood, so Ellie was raised by her maternal grandmother. She occasionally sees her mother's ghost in mirrors, something her grandmother is aware of. Ellie moves from her rural home near Redruth, Cornwall to London to study at the London College of Fashion, where she has trouble fitting in with her peers. Only John, another student, is sympathetic to her. Unhappy in the dormitory, she moves into a bedsit owned by the elderly Ms. Collins. That night, Ellie has a vivid dream where she is transported back to the 1960s. At the Café de Paris, she observes a confident young blonde woman, Sandy, inquire about becoming a singer at the club. Sandy begins a relationship with the charming mod manager, Jack. The next morning, Ellie designs a dress inspired by Sandy and discovers a love bite on her neck. Ellie has another dream in which Sandy successfully auditions at a Soho nightclub, arranged by Jack, before returning to the same bedsit that Ellie has rented. Inspired by these visions, Ellie dyes her hair blonde, changes her fashion style to match Sandy's, and gets a job at a pub. She is observed by a silver-haired man who recognizes her similarities to Sandy. In further dreams, Ellie discovers Sandy is not living the life she had hoped for. Now being pimped out by Jack to his male business associates, in her waking life, Ellie is disturbed by increasingly menacing apparitions that resemble Jack and the men who exploited and used Sandy. After she has a vision of Jack murdering Sandy, she decides to track down the silver-haired man, who she believes is Jack. She goes to the police, but is not taken seriously, so she tries to find newspaper reports about Sandy's murder. Instead, she finds stories of local men who vanished without a trace. Believing she must avenge Sandy, Ellie confronts the silver-haired man. He denies killing Sandy and leaves the pub, but is struck by a taxi and killed. Ellie's boss reveals that the man's name was Lindsay, not Jack. Ellie recalls encountering him in her dreams. He was an undercover vice officer who tried to encourage Sandy to escape her life of prostitution. Panicked, Ellie goes to inform Ms. Collins that she is leaving London. Ms. Collins then reveals that she is actually Sandy. Ellie's vision of Sandy's death was actually a vision of Sandy killing Jack when he threatened her with a knife. Sandy then lured the men she was pimped back to her room and killed them, hiding their bodies in the house's floorboards and walls. Ms. Collins has drugged Ellie's tea with the intention of killing her to ensure her silence. In the ensuing scuffle, Ellie knocks over an ashtray and starts a fire. John comes to Ellie's aid, but Ms. Collins stabs him and continues after Ellie, who hallucinates Ms. Collins as the younger Sandy, and that they are ascending a glass staircase. Ellie kicks Ms. Collins, sending her down the stairs. She flees to her room, where the spirits of Sandy's victims plead with her to avenge them, but she refuses. Ms. Collins enters Ellie's room, where she also sees the spirits and is struck by Jack. With the police outside, she attempts suicide but Ellie stops her, understanding why she did what she did. Sandy tells Ellie to save John and herself, remaining in the building as it burns. Ellie enjoys success as her designs are showcased at her end-of-year fashion show and is congratulated by her grandmother and John. Ellie sees her mother and a vision of Sandy in a mirror. Her mother smiles at her, and Sandy blows her a kiss. As of December 26, 2021, Last Night in Soho has grossed $23 million. In the United States and Canada, the film was released alongside Antlers and the expansion of the French Dispatch, and was projected to gross around $5 million from 3,016 cinemas in its opening weekend. 43. It made $1.9 million on its first day and went on to debut to $4.2 million, finishing sixth at the box office. In its second weekend it dropped 57% to gross $1.8 million, finishing 10th. The review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes sampled 343 critics and judged 76% of the reviews to be positive, with an average rating of June 9, 10. The site states although it struggles to maintain its thrilling early momentum, Last Night in Soho shows flashes of Edgar Wright at his most stylish and ambitious. 46. On Metacritic, it has a weighted average score of 65 out of 100, based on 55 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of B+ on an A+ to F scale, while those at PostTrack gave it a 73% positive score, with 56% saying they would definitely recommend it. Some reviews of the movie are as follows: Thomasin McKenzie and Anya Taylor-Joy are exquisite. Last Night at Soho is brilliant, has one of the best soundtracks ever, and really well made by genius Edgar Wright. I love the story so much about a girl that wants to be a designer and famous that starts experiencing something very different that I won't spoil anything. Everything with Alexandria, Anya, is so good. I was very surprised of the old folks that came to the movie. I guess they didn't mind the horror. Very deserving of the 7.6 rating, and I'll definitely want to buy when available. Please leave your review of the movie in the comment section. The movie comes to an end. Remember to click like and follow to watch the next attractive movies. Goodbye and see you again.